Hi everybody, Diana Del Garbino from Muscles in Motion Professional Personal Training, and I'm here today with the principles of fitness. And I just want to thank everybody for writing out. We had lots and lots of questions, so I think we'll be able to get through 3 of them, and if not, then next month those will be at the top of the list. So if your question didn't get answered today, come back next month, we'll do it again. The first one we have is how or why to stretch before a workout. So those of you that work with me in the golf program are going to know that I am a big do not stretch before you work out. And let me give you the reasoning and the education behind that. When you stretch a muscle and you do what's called a static stretch, so let's say you're trying to stretch your shoulder and you're pulling your arm across and you're holding it there, what's happening to all those muscle fibers is they're not contracting. So they're in the opposite way. You're pulling them, you're relaxing them, and they start to stretch, they start to relax, and they lose their compatibility with the contraction portion of it. They lose their ability to contract really well. So they actually did a study on this with some basketball players, that they had them do a static stretch before they played, and then they had them play, and they saw, and then they did a biopsy and they checked on the muscle tissue, and what they found was that the muscles actually shut down their contractibility for up to 30 minutes. So your workout is 30 minutes, so by the time you get done, you'll be able to contract really well, but then your workout's done. So it's really counterproductive to do any static stretching. For my golfers, same thing. I don't want them static stretching before a round, because it's going to be by the 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th hole before they're really able to contract the muscles that they need to hit harder, hit farther, be more accurate, and it does not prevent injury. It can actually do the opposite. So if you want to do anything, a dynamic stretch is a little bit better. And a dynamic stretch is going to be something like arm circles for the shoulders, forward and backwards. So you're really getting blood flow in there. You can come in and use the erg for the arms. You can come in and just use the bicycle, walk quickly on the tread climber, something like that, just to get blood flow in there to warm the body up and get you ready for your workout. We just don't want to do anything that's going to hinder that. The best time to stretch is after the workout. When you are all done, you're warmed up, everything is going to be relaxed. Now is the time for that really good longer stretch, and you guys are always welcome to come in the back of the gym and do that. There's mats back there. Okay, so hope that answers that question. Number 2 question is, how do you know when it's pain from failure to push through or an injury? Great question, another great question. Okay, so you should feel burning. It should feel like a type of burning, and you can get that anywhere. Mostly you'll know when you're on the leg extension. That's where most people feel the most burn in their quads, is on the leg extension. That's the one where you're sitting down, your legs, it's right on your ankles, and you're pressing that up. That's where you'll kind of get your radar for knowing what you're feeling. If it feels something different than that, that it feels like it's more in a joint, or it's a sharp pain that's not kind of the muscle burning, then that's when you're going to tell your trainer immediately, hey, I'm having something that just feels a little bit different than that burning. And it might be, let's say it's on a chest press, it might be that you rolled your shoulders forward, and so everything's a little bit out of alignment, so we'll have you pull that back. It might not be that dramatic, it might be a little more subtle. It might be that you're holding your head in a weird position, so we're going to make sure that we put you in proper alignment and help you work through that. But the burning is what we're looking for, because there's not as much oxygen getting there, so make sure you're still breathing while you're doing that. Sometimes it's that you're just not getting enough iron and oxygen down there into the muscles. So making sure that your breathing is more rhythmic and not holding your breath or expelling it just when you think you're at the top of the exercise, and then you're not really getting enough air in there. So those couple of things should help prevent that. If you feel something sharp, again, just let your trainer know right away so that they can help you work through that. And the next one is Is feeling lightheaded or shaky normal? Yes, that is normal. Muscles are the biggest storage of energy or glucose, sugar. This is where we can hold the most. So the less muscle fibers you have, the less glucose and energy you have. The first place is in the liver, holds about a teaspoon there. Then once that fills up, it goes right to the muscle structure. And then once it gets too full in there because you're eating too much sugar or too many fruits, too much sweets, then it's going to go over into the blood. So we don't want that. But when you're working out, it's going to release that glucose because that's what's helping you be able to push yourself a little bit farther, overload that muscle tissue, and so all of them are pumping out that glucose quickly. And so when you get done, you kind of get that, ooh, I feel kind of shaky, my legs are a little bit wobbly. The muscle fibers have been worked, the sugar has come out of there, so that's where you're going to get that shaky kind of, wow, everything's been worked. And I'll address the lightheaded in a second. So yes, that's normal. Recovery is what's going to help get that to go away a little bit quicker. Eating less sugars is going to help with that so that it's not dumping that sugar so quickly that you are feeling like a drop in your energy level and your blood sugar dropping. The more regular you eat throughout the day, the less sugars you eat, the more whole foods you eat is going to keep your blood sugar a little bit more normal. That's going to help with that as well. But it definitely helps in recovery. And as you all know, we tell you guys every time, get something to eat as soon as you're done. What's your post-workout snack? What are you going to eat? There's a reason for that. The longer you wait to get that post-workout snack, the shakier you're going to stay because the muscles release that sugar and they're looking to get that put right back as soon as possible, not in sugar form, but in protein and carbs and fats. So once that gets replenished, then they can relax and they're happy. But before that, they're going to be like begging you to give them something. So don't wait too long. If you are going to eat sugar, like you want a cinnamon roll or you want something yummy, that is the best time to do that. And I'm just checking my timer right now. Hang on a second. Okay, so we got 2 minutes left. So you want to get that as soon as possible, but the sugar, if you're going to eat sugar, that's the best time right then. Don't eat too much, but should have about 20 to 25 grams of protein and about 20 to 25 grams of carbs. And those can be, you can have a slice of bread, you can eat that. If you are not tolerant of that or you feel like you just get a little too much energy off of that, make it vegetables instead. Okay, lightheaded, feeling lightheaded. Now this can do with a lot of things. This can be your blood pressure, again that breathing. If we're not breathing rhythmically and consistently, breathing in or breathing out, your blood pressure is going to go up. We don't want that. That is going to give you that rush and that lightheaded feeling. Depends on how much water you're drinking. We want that blood to be able to move freely through the body. A lot of times as we age, lying down and then sitting up really quick, you can get lightheaded. A lot of people get that on the leg press and they get it on the hip extension because they're lying a little bit more flat. And so just take a second. The blood just has to get back up. The taller you are too, that happens. It's got a long way to go. So all the blood rushes down to the lower extremities to give more oxygen and iron to get it to work better. And then when you stand up really quick, it's got to try and get back up into the brain. So those are the reasons that you might be feeling lightheaded. Also, maybe you need to eat a little bit more. Everybody's metabolism is just a little bit different. So make sure that you're working with your trainer so you can better understand whether you need to eat a little bit before and then after. Maybe you need to eat a little sooner. Maybe you need to eat a little farther apart. Just depends on your metabolism. So I hope this answered your questions, and we'll get to all the other ones next month. So we'll see you then.